Good evening and welcome to Cutting Edge Aquatics. Tonight I'd like to take a moment to talk about my 54-gallon corner tank. The tank was set up, I would say, about 6 months ago, 8 months ago. It uses the father fish method as far as the deep sand bed. This tank actually has river sand in it. I went to a local river and I was able to source some dirt and sand from the bottom of the river. So one of the key points fatherfish makes about using dirt from a river is you want to dig down about 3 to 4 inches, and that's the soil you're going to want to put in your tank. That's going to be the most nutrient dense soil. Now with this tank, when I originally set it up, I actually used river sand and black diamond blasting sand on top. And as you can see, there's it's fully planted. This tank is loaded with plants, and it's pretty interesting. When I set this tank up initially, I didn't have as many plants, but it just started growing like crazy. I have quite a few different species of plants in here. Similar to my other, I think I have some crypts. You can see I have some dorsage. The crypts actually have kind of taken over the tank. You'll see there's some Amazon sword. I have a few different species of that, and there's basically one of the nice things about this tank. Don't know if you can really see it that great in the video, but there's it's a really nice piece of driftwood in the back here. So I'm just trying to get it to focus for me here. Let me see if I can get it to zoom out. There you go. So you can see there's some nice driftwood in. So in this tank I have all guppies, mollies, platies, and that's pretty much it. And I do have a lot of auto cinclet catfish in here. The smaller fish you're seeing in this tank are babies. They were born in this tank. One of the things I like about live bearers is, especially when you mix these 3 different types of live bearers, you can mix them. There's some pretty unusual babies in here. I'm going to try to point out one of them. It kind of looks like a guppy. I'm not exactly sure how that morph happened, but it may swim in the picture here. I'm trying to find it. It's very fast, but anyway, as you can see from the bottom, you can see the black diamond blasted sand. There are some rocks from nature in this tank as well. You'll notice there's some Java moss that's growing on the driftwood in the back, and there's the guppy right there. You can see it swimming around back there. So it's like, I'm sorry, it's actually a hybrid between I think it's a cross between a platy and a swordtail, but I'm not exactly sure how it got those colors, and my camera is probably not doing it much justice. I would actually like to add a few more live bearers in here, maybe some different types of, sorry for shaking the camera there, some more platies. I added a few about a month ago, but it's probably time to add some more. So the wood, some of the wood came from nature. One of them was actually part of a larger piece of driftwood I had before. The wood actually it was part of the larger piece I cut off because it was too big for the tank I used to have. And this is the piece that was left over. But it is a really cool piece of driftwood. It kind of looks like horns. I don't know if you can see that. So you'll also notice there's a lot of floating plants in this tank. Sorry about the light. So you'll notice there's some duckweed. It has water lettuce in this tank too. So you can see that piece right there. Salvinia. That was the one I couldn't think of. And I actually just got done taking some of this out, I guess about a week ago. So you can see it starts coming back. And one thing about duckweed, as you're all aware, is it does tend to want to take over. But honestly, it doesn't bother me because these fish will actually eat this. They like green things like algae, and if I don't feed them for like 2 or 3 days, they will. I notice they'll be up here eating this. So it works out really well with these types of fish. They like picking at the algae. But anyway, you can see that The fish are doing good. So, and this is, like I mentioned, I think I said it was a corner tank, so it does have a bow front on here. I don't know if you can tell by that angle. So I have this rounded front, and when I purchased this tank, I had to reseal it because when I did the fill test, shame on me, actually did it here, and water started coming out. Luckily, it was just a small amount, and I was able to get the water and get the tank out quickly. So there was just a tiny bit that got on my floor. There's a nice picture of the guppy, or I keep calling it a guppy, but it's like a hybrid. Maybe if anyone wants to post in the comments, but you can see it's beautiful fish. I mean, it's actually gorgeous. There may be a few others that look like that in here, but they're really small. So it's funny. I remember when I set this tank up, I guess about a month later, there are a lot of pregnant ones in here too, but a month later, I left for like a week. And since I have, with this tank, you'll notice there is some leaf litter in this tank. And the leaf litter essentially is your food web. So that's a father fish thing too. You'll see some of the leaves that are down there. Some of them are starting to deteriorate, but you don't really see a ton of it on the substrate. So a lot of it's already precipitated into the substrate, but you'll see those rocks. But anyway, when I was gone for that time frame, I came back and there was tons of babies in here. There's lots of places for them to hide. They can go down into those rocks down there. There's some driftwood. Obviously, there's tons of plants. So, but I'm really happy with this tank, how it turned out. It has some really cool features to me, and everybody seems to get along well. And like I said, I think if anything, I wouldn't mind adding like maybe another half a dozen to a dozen more live bearers, just to see what other varieties of fish I get. So, but anyway, I'd like to thank everyone for joining me tonight, and I'll catch you on the next one.